Hi there guys, welcome back to Saturn Shooters, and we're going to be looking at a classic, the ultimate shooter, the very first. It is Space Invaders, and this is on the Japanese Sega Saturn. Now I'm going to be showing you a couple of different game modes that this compilation has. It's a fantastic collection, and it's one that, you know, again, I didn't know before I started collecting that was actually available on the Saturn. So it's a great little hidden gem, and if you're into your retro shooters, especially stuff like this, I mean, it's Space Invaders. You can't really go wrong. So yeah, let's jump in and we'll show you what it has to offer. Now, one thing that this game does actually have is great. It's a nice little alternative. It's a two-player mode, so you know, if you've got a friend, if you've got an extra controller that you want to have a little battle, you can go into two-player mode here, and you can have a little Space Invaders two-player battle, kind of like, you know, Tetris style, Tetris 2 style. So options wise, you've got your difficulties, you've got your ships, you've got your multipliers, standard fare options and things like that, and that's pretty much it. So let's go into the game and I'll show you. What you get is 4 different versions of the original arcade mode. Pretty much all the same game, to be honest, but you've got your different overlays and backdrops here. You can see you've got your cocktail cabinet versions, you've got your black and white standard mode, you've got your overlay mode, you've got your full colour mode, and you've got your backdrop overlay or background overlay there in this one. So we're going to go with the full colour one. Just check out some gameplay. Oh, now Space Invaders really takes me back. It's the first game I ever, I think it's one of the first, if not the first video game I ever played. Now I didn't play the arcade version, I actually had the Amstrad PC version, and it's a game, when I see those when I see these aliens scrolling across the screen, it really, oh my god, it takes me back to really being a kid. And this is what retro gaming is for me, you know. It's a real nostalgia hit, and oh my god, to have Space Invaders on my Saturn, I'm just so made up. It's a fantastic release. So let's see how I can get on with this. I don't know if you can hear that now. There's it's got that classic monotone soundtrack. Space Invaders, again, one of those retro games that very, very basic looking, very, very basic, easy to pick up and play, but it's a hell of a challenge. It's a real difficult game, you know. It's hard to master, but if you get your knack for playing it, if you take your aliens out in the right order, this is how I like to do it, one row at a time, one column at a time, whatever. And you get your classic, you get the UFOs coming from the top as well. I love it. It's a great game. It's just one of those games that you don't have to think about playing. It's kind of like you can play it and then you go into kind of like auto mode, if you know what I mean. This game and Galaxian is one of those games that I can just sit and play, and I just kind of switch off, you know, and I just kind of get into it, and before you know it, you're getting high scores. And if you can shoot the aliens. But I don't really, obviously, I don't need to explain Space Invaders to you. You know, everyone knows what Space Invaders is. Hopefully, I would expect you do, if you're a retro gamer, especially. It's a straightforward game to play. It's easy to pick up. Oh, I've gone into 2-player mode, and this is 2-player. Oh, let's turn that off. That's what I've turned on. Let's show you a different mode. Let's show you the I think this is like the Deluxe, from the Deluxe cabinet. I don't know if that's right, actually. I think Deluxe was pretty much Space Invaders. No, it wasn't Space Invaders 2. I tell you what, I did love Space Invaders 2 on the arcade. Okay, so what they did with this, you can see it's pretty much the same game, but obviously because of the technology limitations back in the day, what they did to kind of update their games, with a lot of games and a lot of video game systems, was to put overlays or even backdrops on the actual arcade monitor, and that's what they did with this. And this is what this Saturn version is kind of emulating. You can see it's pretty much the same game, you know, black and white kind of game, but what they've done is put a kind of nice little picture in the background that will kind of allow the monitor to glow on, if that, well, not really using very good terminology here. I kind of dumb down when I'm playing video games. My vocabulary becomes very limited. But you know what I'm getting at. They put an overlay or a backdrop on the video, the arcade monitor, and it allows to kind of give it a lot more depth in the, you know, visually. So, you know, it turns a real basic black and white game like Space Invaders into something that, you know, gives you, you know, there's a planet in the background, there's stars. It just adds a lot more visually to the game, even though you're still playing the same basic looking game. You just feel a lot more in depth of the game when you're actually playing it, so it's a lot more fun. And I think this is the, I think they, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is the, this backdrop is the one they did for the deluxe version, so this is pretty much deluxe Space Invaders. And you know, when the further you get, again, I'm explaining Space Invaders to you, and I don't need to. You know how it works. But when you destroy the enemies here, oh, that was lucky. When you destroy the enemies here, the game speeds up and gets faster and faster, and that's where the difficulty comes in. So when you get down to the last alien, he's zooming across the screen left and right, and you're trying to. You've only got one. You can only shoot one shot at a time, you see, and that's where the difficulty comes in. You have to time it just right. And then that's the distraction. That's the distraction when that UFO comes along, because you think, oh my god, bonus points! I wanna get the UFO. So you know, it kind of distracts you, and you can actually easily get killed. Oh my days, here we go. Come on, Riddler, let's do this. There he is. Oh no! Oh, game over. Oh, it's a fun game. It can be frustrating, but it's great fun. And it takes me right back. And oh, Taito, what a great developer! I mean, they released some fantastic games, and this was just the start of it all. Okay, let's play this cocktail cabinet version. Now you can see this is a bit more prominent now with the overlay they've put on the screen. You can see this is actually basically the black and white version, and the Saturn is emulating what they pretty much did with it very well. Is just put like an overlay, like I don't know if it's like a layer of film. It must have been kind of like a transparency film or something that they put onto or behind the arcade monitor, and it just allows, you know, depending on what level the aliens are at, you can see the different colour levels. Because again, the technology back then wasn't good enough for them to be able to output colour picture or signals, so they just used kind of films to overlay onto the arcade monitors, so you get a colour game effectively. And a lot of games did this. You know, Space Invaders wasn't the only one. I think a lot of games used, not just for colour, but they used overlays to make, you know, visually the game a lot more, you know, give it a lot more depth. And I know Super Mario Bros did it. I think Donkey Kong did it, or one of the Donkey Kong games anyway. And it wasn't just arcade machines that did this. There was a video game system. Was it the Atari 2600? Was it the Atari, one of the Atari consoles? But there was a console that they used, and they put overlays. They gave you overlays with the game system. With each game, came packaged with like an overlay you can put on the screen, or was it on the controller? But you know, there was. I can't really remember. I think it was both. I think maybe the Vectrex had overlays for the screen, and the Atari had overlays for the screen or the controller or something. There was a video game console with a controller that had so many buttons you could get overlays for it. I can't remember which one it is. I'm sure someone will tell me, but I'm going way off topic here. We're trying to play some Space Invaders. Shoot the alien! Oh, we've got again. Game over. But this is it. Yeah, this is just a quick view. That was Space Invaders on the Japanese Saturn, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more Saturn shooters coming up as you know, soon, very soon. And I'll see you later. Bye for now.